going to be straight with you guys. If you're not at all interested in my creative process or listening to me ramble for probably well over 10 minutes, you should totally go do something else with your time. You should go play a game, hang out with some friends, because that's really the only reason I'm here tonight. I don't really do these sorts of videos as often as I used to. I used to spend a lot of time actually talking about like, oh, I'm doing this and this is why I haven't done this yet. And I don't know, there was a small part of me that got way too caught up in the mindset of like, don't talk about it, just do it. But honestly, that always worked really well for me. I always felt like when I was having trouble brainstorming, or when I couldn't come up with a new idea, or when I couldn't quite wrap my head around an idea, I would come to YouTube and I'd make a video that got like no views, and I always had a couple people say, just do it, don't tell us. But it just made me feel better. It like helped me clear my mind, and then I could get back to the thinking process. And that was kind of today. It was like 5 projects I was working on. I captured footage for one, captured footage for another, and started working on it, and just nothing was going the way I was hoping it was going to go. Sometimes you get footage and you start in one direction and the puzzle pieces fall into place, and then everything just, it's boom, it just fits, man. It's like you were building a puzzle, like 1 piece, 2 pieces, and then the other pieces fell out of the fucking sky and landed right on the table where they belonged. It's crazy. It just works like that sometimes, right? Other days, it's like there's a guy with a leaf blower just across the top of the table while you're trying to put together the puzzle. That was pretty much today. I'm okay with those days, but I refuse to sit there while the guy tries to blow my puzzle pieces all over the place. I instead walk away, come back with the hammer, and then smash his leaf blower to bits. That's basically today's video. We're smashing a leaf blower to bits. So, why don't we talk a little bit about how I generally go about trying to make a video. Honestly, the first thing I'll do is I will literally just go sit someplace in the house. Not like I pick a place at random, that's weird. Maybe I'll just be like making lunch or making dinner, and I'll just think. And then the moment I have an idea and it comes to my head, I'll write it down on paper, or I'll go ahead and open up my OneNote here. I'll be like, boop, okay, OneNote's open. Loading, loading, loading. Oh, hey, look, here's a bunch of ideas I wrote down for this video that currently has no title. All I said was customizable difficulty and discovery. Modern AAA hand-holding, which I can guarantee you I will not use that word in that video because, God, I hate when people say that. Dark Souls, etc. enhances the value of basic discoveries because of how they're presented. The player will get larger, more detailed, understand the difficulty, but there needs to be option to let player loose. Let us make our own discoveries. That's what games were once about. Destiny 2 fails with lost sectors. This is my note-taking process. It's madness. I just jot stuff down. Sometimes I'll make a full sentence in the hope that when I come back to this, considering this is actually really old, as you can see, Wednesday, December 13th. Oh man, this one's been running for a while. You know, I'm hoping that those sentences will help me put the pieces of the puzzle back together so I can finish it. And usually they do. This is a video I looked at a little bit today, and what I'll typically do when I have this much on the page is I will just go shoot for a commentary. Just most of my stuff's freeform, and I'll take the ideas here, and without structuring them in any sort of an order, sometimes without even recording commentary, but most of the time just in case I will, I'll just go spit the commentary. So I'll start off like, let's see. How would I do it? Let's just try an example. Let's pretend we're gonna shoot for this commentary right now. This commentary about customizable. That's not actually what it's about. I don't know why I titled it. I can tell you right now, this is more so about the changes we're seeing within the modern AAA landscape. So, let's start. Ready? We'll do the ladies and gentlemen thing. I don't do that typically that much anymore, but let's shoot for it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we're here today to talk quite a bit about the state of modern AAA video games. And then I'd go on and be all like, you know, a lot of great games released in 2017, many of them offering a variety of ways to play and a variety of difficulties for the player to play them in. And, you know, it would obviously hopefully sound a lot better than that. But you get the point. I'll just come up here and I'll shoot for it. And sometimes it works. Sometimes I can just get the magic flowing, and it just like, wow, that's the best commentary I've ever recorded. And then other times I'm like, this is gonna need a script. And by a script, I mean an extensive page of notes that are ordered, so I know how to transition from one point to the next. The most difficult part of recording a live commentary, or a commentary in general, let's just say a commentary topic, a discussion topic like this one for YouTube, is stringing together your ideas and concepts and your reference points. Typically, if you're making a video like this, you're going to want to actually make connections and references to other games and to things that are happening in the industry. Sometimes those things need sources, and that's where it gets challenging. If you're like me and you go to say something and then you suddenly realize you're not sure about the accuracy of that statement, and it's actually important that you're accurate for that statement, then it's going to screw up your entire word flow, because now nagging you in the back of their head, you're going to say, am I going to record the rest of this and realize that I have to somehow try and cut that piece out or re-record the whole thing? And so that's why you end up making really extensive outlines sometimes that all have reference points, and you check all your references and you say, that's accurate, that's accurate. That is actually how that worked in that game, even though you couldn't remember it correctly. That game released in 2015. The price was this. You know, you want to have the right sources because you want your stuff to make sense, you know? Especially if you are doing commentaries in the way that I sometimes do them, where I'm trying to get to a point where I'm talking to you guys in the same way I would talk to one of my good friends. If my friend other Tony came over and like asked me about Battle Royale, for example, what's this deal with PUBG in this Fortnite game? What's it all about? I'd want to be able to present the commentary in the same way I presented my discussion with him, very naturally, and while also being able to hit all of those key reference points. So that's really the importance sometimes of building an outline, and it's the reason that so many people write scripts for their videos. It's not easy doing any sort of freeform stuff, and really, as long as you can read from a script naturally, the audience doesn't care whether you scripted or not. They're not concerned about how good you are at spinning commentaries without scripting things. They just want it to be entertaining, they want it to grab their attention, they want it to be interesting, and they want the points to try and connect and to make sense. There is one thing that I have gotten way too caught up in the last year and a half, and that is this obsession with making sure that you sort of like macro explain every detail because you're worried that someone's going to take it out of context. Don't do that to yourself. If you're ever presenting a piece to a group of individuals, the only thing you ever really need to remember is what you're trying to explain to them. You know, what are you presenting to them? Now, make sure you talk to them like they've never heard of this thing before. But don't go as far as to feel like you have to fill in blanks that are a far cry from the topic at hand, because that's what the internet does to you. People show up and it's just one random comment that bears no weight, no value on the success of your video, but you will get caught up in it anyways. And you'll sit there and you'll say, that one person's going to come along and they're going to imply that I was talking about this, and it could be so far off the wall, but that's just what the internet does to you. Some people, man, they go digging holes without a shovel in the concrete, and somehow they manage to make the hole actually be a thing and pull something out of it. So you just don't get caught up in that. I've like ruined so many good discussion pieces that like the flow is perfect. I was going in the right direction because I thought way too much about that. You will never cover all of the bases that the internet as a whole is going to manage to basically bring into existence. Just don't do it. This is dangerous. I do it way too often. But anyways, that's a problem that I have to deal with in 2018. So yeah, that's generally the idea of how I would put together one of these more fleshed out discussion pieces. When it comes to live commentaries, those are really just like an on the run thing. Like I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be like, I've got too much stuff to do RL today. Whatever. I gotta drive Michelle someplace. I'm going to see the family. I gotta work on stuff in the house. Let's do live commentary. That'll be a little bit easier. But let's make sure I have a decent topic because I want something I can talk about now for 15 minutes. Thank you very much, Respawn. Your attrition changes instead of 10 minutes, which is actually a lot more difficult. And as long as I can start talking about it as I'm like walking up to the office, like, all right, going up to the office, gonna record this commentary. Let me grab my trusty controller. Got my controller ready to record this. Put the headset on. Hold on. Okay. Let's record this thing. So, today we're doing a live commentary with the Kraber, and I want to talk a little bit about how much I don't like the way Titans were handled in Titanfall 2, and how they could be handled better in Titanfall 3. That's basically what you want to do, right? I actually tried to record that commentary today. As it turns out, when we talk about like the health of Titans and how you earn them in Titanfall 2, I can't seem to talk about that for more than 7 minutes. So that's going to be a different video for a different day. And that's really it, guys. I mean, there's nothing else to it. People always ask me, like, how do you come up with this? How do you come up with that? It's just, you've been doing it for so long, likely, that you just pretty much are living, eating, and breathing that. Like 24/7, you're always thinking about, oh, that could be a video. That could be a video idea. That could be a video idea. We used to always joke when I was kids, when we used to ride BMX, that I used to look at every pile of dirt as a potential launch ramp. Or maybe we can make a spine out of that. We could even make like a dirt vert ramp. We totally did that when we were kids at one point. Didn't work out as well as you'd think it might. It's the same thing with YouTube stuff. Like, just everything you see could trigger a discussion piece, could trigger an idea. You might be just playing a game or watching someone else play a game, and all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, I should totally go talk about that. For example, there is a video that I was going to do for Quake that I'll still probably do, which spawned off of me watching Frothy play Quake Champions for like 5 minutes. I literally caught the end of his stream. I don't remember what he said, but I ended up writing it down on paper instead of in OneNote because I had it on me at the time. And I was like, oh, hey, I bet you I could talk about this about that topic. And I kind of just ran with that. So, yeah, there you have it, guys. A little bit of insight into how I make things happen. Something I'm constantly asked. And I think I end up making a video like this, like trying to break things down as best as I can every year. And sometimes I scrap them because when it's all said and done, you realize that it's really not that glorious. It's just kind of a mess, man. It's chaos, right? But I don't know. I guess the best things in life aren't well planned. Or even when they are well planned, you feel like you ran through the gauntlet to get there, right? And that's pretty much what it's like to make anything. I mean, literally just go try and make a craft. Like try and make a foam hand cannon, right? Something like this. Could look a lot better than it did. Well, that's because, like I said, I ran through a shed in the dark, blind, wearing roller skates. I can't roller skate, I can roller blade. Filled with boxes of razor blades. And this was the end result. Like, you made it. You're kind of proud of it, but you'd like to do it better the second time. And honestly, that's how a lot of YouTube videos just go down. That's how anything is. You will always look back and say to yourself, I could have done that better. And sometimes, take advantage of that and make a part 2 out of it. So, hopefully, along with a lot of rambling, there's also some stuff in here for those of you guys who maybe just started doing YouTube or content creation. Some things that you can maybe squeeze out of this video and use to benefit your future endeavors on YouTube. I hope you guys have a great night. No idea what's going to go live on the channel tomorrow. Bunch of things I'm toying around with. Escape from Tarkov, that was a game that I spent like 5 hours playing today. I've been playing the beta for like 4 months now. Still don't like that game. Really like parts of the game, but other parts of it I'm like, no, just like, I like that I can just look at the gun and be like, ooh, this attachment. But the core loop to me is just way too punishing. There's just, like, I like a difficult game, I do, but there's a difference between, like, enjoyable masochism, i.e. the Souls franchise, and, like, masochism that feels like it should be real-life masochism. So that's currently where I'm at that game. Maybe we'll talk about that in the coming days. Maybe we won't. Again, thank you guys for joining me for this late night ramble. I hope you have a fantastic night, fantastic day, fantastic morning, depending on where you are in the world. And I'll see you tomorrow for more video game randomness. I think I'm happy with that. Video game randomness. It's good.